It's never been this good. We got to put it in context. There are those in the room that remember the 1970s. Let me tell you, architecture was terrible. You had shag carpeting, orange and green bathrooms, 7-foot ceilings, windows at the top. If you're in real estate, you can't even sell them. Ask anyone for a picture in the 1970s. Look at the shoes and the fashions. Look at the cars. 18% inflation, 22% interest rates. America was in a spiral of decline. The president said, wear your sweater, ride your bicycle. America's coming to an end next Tuesday a week. There isn't anything anybody can do about it. The head of the Council of Economic Advisors, this is the number one cheerleader for America, said, by the end of, he said in the 1980s, the question is not whether or not America will have a declining standard of living. The question is whether or not Americans will learn to adapt to their declining standard of living. Now that was the leader. Internationally, militarily, only 1 plane in 3, neither the Air Force or the Navy, was airworthy, and 1/3 of all the people wearing the uniform in the United States were on drugs. Foreign policy, more nations went communist under Jimmy Carter than any president since Truman. And they formed in the summer of 1980 an organization called the Conference on African Unity, now known as the African Union. The keynote speaker was the head of the Soviet Union, Leonid Brezhnev, in which he said this. He said, by the end of this decade, that's 1989, we, the Soviet Union, will be able to work our will any place on the planet because the correlation of forces, economic, military, and political, are on the side of socialism and communism. And while everyone agreed with that, there was a man from California that said that's nonsense. He had a picture of Time magazine with one of his best friends on there, John Wayne, had just passed away, and it said, America's last hero. He said, I knew John Wayne. John Wayne was a friend of mine. No one would be more offended at that title than John Wayne. He said, there's nothing wrong with this country that proper leadership can't cure. He came to office, began to cut taxes, restore jobs. 3 out of every 4 jobs created on this planet in the 1980s were created in one country, the United States of America. He rebuilt the military, and by 1989, the entire world was chanting USA, USA, USA. Leadership makes a difference.